And welcome to Upon Further Review. I'm Josh Aubrey. Plenty to get to in this week's show. The Georgia Southern Eagles coming off an impressive 49-35 shootout victory over UAB this past Saturday. Get back to action this Saturday on the road at Madison, Wisconsin, as they'll pay their first visit to Camp Randall Stadium, taking on the Wisconsin Badgers Saturday at noon. We'll hear from head coach Clay Helton and a few of the players as they get ready for a big matchup with another Big Ten team looking for same kind of results as last year where they were able to go to Nebraska and pull off a win. Get to that in a moment. We'll also have high school previews. The Statesboro Blue Devils coming off a bye week as they get back to action. They'll be at home. It'll be two former Georgia Southern Eagles as the head coaches of the two teams as J-Bo Shaw brings his Wayne County Yellow Jackets into Womack Field to take on Matt Dobson's Blue Devils. That game with a 7:30 start Friday at home. Elsewhere, the Southeast Bulloch Yellow Jackets coming off a huge victory at home against Effingham County. They'll be on the road at Tattnall County. We'll hear from head coach Jared Zito and a couple of his players. The Bulloch Academy Gators rolling right along, the only undefeated team in Bulloch County, 3-0 as they get set to host Augusta Prep, and the Portal Panthers coming off their first loss of the season, a 22-21 setback to Screven County at Screven. They'll be home coming up Friday night as they'll be hosting Bryan County and former head coach Gerard Freeman. All right, stay with us. Plenty to come, including the Georgia Southern Eagles preview as they get set for Wisconsin. Reminder before we go to break, hopefully you'll never be in an accident, but if so, please give our friends at the Sullivan Law Firm a call, 912-489-8888, or online at thesullivanlawfirm.com. Cook's Pharmacy, located on Highway 80 East, is family owned and operated by Lynn and Janie McCook, as well as their son, Josh McCook. Serving the Bulloch County area since 2005, McCook's Pharmacy offers fast and friendly service where the customers come first. Vaccinations are available, including shingles, flu, pneumonia, and Tdap. Drive-through service is available with 2 drive-through windows for your convenience. McCook's Pharmacy offers free local deliveries, and new customers are always welcome. Continuing the tradition of our family caring for your family, McCook's Pharmacy, Highway 80 East. Well, the Georgia Southern Eagles coming off a big victory at home this past Saturday as they beat UAB by a score of 49-35. Quarterback Davis Brin threw for over 300 yards and a completion rate of over 80% in the game. And for his efforts, he was named the Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Week. The Eagles going into Camp Randall Stadium this week up in Wisconsin, take on the Wisconsin Badgers, who lost last week at Washington State. They were ranked in the top 20 in the nation, fell out of the top 20 after that loss. They're 1-1 on the season. We had a chance to talk with Georgia Southern head coach Clay Helton about how he feels about the game.
You know, the previous game of UAB I thought was a great tone setter for us because, you know, going into that game, we had talked all week that this would be a 15-round fight, and they were a really good football team, and good things were going to happen for them. But for us, it was about not what happens to you, but how you react. And it'll be very similar. We've got the opportunity to go to one of the more historic places in college football, a legendary venue with an unbelievable crowd, to play, you know, one of the best coaches in college football right now, in Coach Fickell. You know, we've gotten the opportunity to see what he did at Cincinnati. You can already see his culture being put on display at Wisconsin. They're a tough bunch, a physical bunch, relentless effort, and it'll be a great challenge for us. You know, we talk to recruits about, you know, when you come to Georgia Southern, you're going to get to play on a national stage, and here's one of those opportunities to put our best foot forward, to compete at the highest level, and try to build respect and try to build our resume as we're building a national brand. I thought last year's team in Lincoln did a wonderful job of that, and another historic venue that has a great fan base. And so, you know, it's going to have to be, for us to have success, we're going to have that same mental toughness to be able to withstand, an unbelievable student body. I can't wait to watch the jump around the fourth quarter, but you got to be able to, like I'll tell our team, is not be a fan. You have to concentrate on doing your job and doing your assignment 4 to 6 seconds at a time, one play at a time. And last year's team did that on a national stage, and that's the challenge for this year's team, is to bring that same mental discipline to this game plan.
Well, as for the Georgia Southern players, they're pretty excited about being able to play in a venue with over 80,000 screaming fans on hand. Quarterback Davis Breen, with a little experience there, as he's threw for over 400 yards when he was at Tulsa, and they played at Ohio State. They also played at Ole Miss this past season. We had a chance to talk with him and linebacker Kadri Jackson, who came from North Carolina, where he's played in a couple big atmospheres as well, about the matchup coming up this week at Wisconsin.
I think we did a good job defensively. One thing that Coach Bailey preaches a lot is takeaways, and we got 3. So the main thing that I think we can do is going forward is getting better at tackling. We played a good team that had a lot of great athletes, so we had to do a better job tackling. Yeah, I've watched a lot of Wisconsin. They do a great job. They have a lot of great players across the board. They have a couple good running backs, a great receiving core, and Phil Longo. I'm pretty familiar with him because at Carolina he was the offensive coordinator when I was there. So there's some. I would say I know a lot about what they do. So the main thing I try and say is just make sure everybody knows it's still football. The game we've been playing since we were little kids. I try and tell everybody that. The fans, of course, are going to be electric. It's going to be a lot of people loud. But the main thing is we get on the field, it's still football. So don't be overwhelmed. Don't be nervous. Just go out there and play football like we've been doing. So that's the main thing I try and keep in my head. And same thing I try and tell all the teammates.
I think we've progressed a lot from game 1 to 2. I just think the level of execution overall has gone up for us. And, I think we're going to continue to get better and better. And I'm excited about the opportunity to go compete this week. It's going to come down to execution. And, I'm going to play the game how I play the game and see the field as clearly as I can. And like I said, it's going to be about us executing at the end of the day. So, it's going to be a big test, but I'm really excited about it. I've played in some big-time games. They're great experiences. Ohio State a couple years ago, and Oklahoma State and Ole Miss last year. I like these games. They're really fun. The atmosphere is great, but it's 100 yards at the end of the day, same football field, and so we both bleed red, and so it's going to be a tough test. It for sure is, but I really am looking forward to being able to go compete.
And stay with us. Coming up next, we'll visit with some high school coaches and their players.
Davis, you're in. You tired of being on the sidelines? Let's get you in the game. GATA, get after those assets.
Owning a small business is kind of a big deal. State Farm agents can help you find the right insurance coverage at the right price.
Call State Farm agent Matthew Tyson in Statesboro today.
Well, the Statesboro Blue Devils coming off a bye week. 2 weeks ago, they lost on the road at Effingham County, a game in which they had 3 turnovers. When the Blue Devils have won the turnover battle, they've won the game. When they haven't, they've lost. And this week, they'll be hoping to control the ball as they'll host Wayne County in a matchup of 2 former Georgia Southern Eagles, with Jabo Shaw leading Wayne County and Matt Dobson leading the Blue Devils. We had a chance to talk with Coach Dobson and a few of his players about the matchup.
We figured out who needed to rest a little bit, was banged up, who needed to get reps, who needed to compete. We did a lot of competition last week, good versus good competition, offensively, defensively, different one-on-one drills, different group drills, just trying to create competition within our team, build depth. Number 1 on our plan to win is winning the turnover margin. And when we've done that, we've won, going back to our scrimmage in the Southeast Bulloch game. And then when we haven't done it against Glenn and Effingham, we've lost. It's we make this game a little more complicated than it has to be at times, and so that's what I've told our kids is we just got to control the football. We're good enough on defense to hold people if we just don't give them short fields and just give them, great opportunities. So Coach Shaw, he's got a talented football team. They're playing really good on defense. They're good up front. They're really good at all levels, but especially in their box, they're good at stopping the run. Getting pressure on the quarterback. Against Appling, they sacked the quarterback and scooped and scored for a touchdown against them. So really good in the box. Then offensively, it all goes through the running back. The Fuller kid is special. At any point, he can take one to the house. He's had, I don't know how many touchdown runs over 50 this year. I think he's had at least 5 touchdown runs of over 50 yards this year. He makes them go. So we got to find ways to limit his production and slow him down and try to make them throw the football because they want to run the football. They're good up front and got talented running backs. So we got to make them one-dimensional.
I think we got a good football team. I think we just really have to focus on execution. The greatest thing I see is that we're getting better every week. Guys are staying hungry. We're not letting down. Foot's on the pedal. So I think we're going to be all right. I hope we continue to get better and we're ready for the region play when it comes around. Very excited, very fired up. We know we got a good team coming in. They like to run the ball, they like to throw it. I'm just extremely excited to play in front of the home team. As everybody knows, you don't want to get beat at your own crib, so that's what we will focus not to do.
The defensive side of the ball, I think we just need to have a little bit more communication and make sure our alignments and the way that we can see it and make sure that they follow the ball in all their assignments. And then the offensive side, I believe, if they get the ball rolling and make sure they keep doing it, I think they'll be all right. As they improve in practice and through the game, hopefully it shows and we'll do good. I'm very excited to play at home, and apparently they've been giving up at least 400+ yards a game offensively, but defense they have a good running back. As long as we do what we're supposed to do on defense, I think it'll be shut out and should be a good win at home, hopefully.
Well, the Southeast Bulloch Yellow Jackets riding high right now, coming off a big victory against Class 6A Effingham County last Friday at Fred Shaver Field. This week they'll be back in action as they'll hit the road for Tattnall County. We had a chance to talk with head coach Jared Zito and some of his players about the matchup.
I told our kids yesterday they played their guts out. I mean, and they have all year, but man, they gave every drop of what they had physically, emotionally, mentally. I thought we played great defense again. I thought we had a few more explosive plays on offense. And then the good news is, after evaluating the film, from an execution standpoint, I think we still got a ways to go till we reach our potential. There's no doubt we've been preaching for almost a year and a half now about now it's rise to the challenge and trying to step up to those bigger programs. And listen, doesn't mean those other games we're going to play aren't going to be hard, because they are. But at least lets them know that they're in the fight and gives them that confidence that they're able to step in that ring and at least give it a 4-quarter battle, which would be a little different than last year. And we're able to maybe overcome and win some of these games with teams that maybe have more players or perceived better programs or whatnot. The biggest thing, I think, is just confidence. Success is the enemy of success, and learning how to sustain wins after a big emotional win is probably the hardest thing on any level for any team, no matter who you're playing. I think Tattnall is they're going to be physical. They're gun wing tee, so you better be ready for them to come downhill at you. They're going to have some athletic kids. Biggest thing we have to do is focus on us. Keep making improvements on the things we made corrections on yesterday in film. Continue to play hard, and that's the big thing. Is I want to see our kids play at a really high level, emotionally and physically, no matter who the opponent is, whether it's the best team on our schedule or not. If they'll do that and continue to work on us, I think we'll be okay each game we line up.
We're pumped. We're super pumped. We're excited. It was a big win for us, especially last year. We got embarrassed, so to say, and it was definitely a really big morale booster, and we just proved something. And it was really good. It was really good all the way around. It's just leadership. This year we have a lot of guys that are really bought into it, and we're super excited, and our whole team is just, we're family. We play as one. We don't have different people trying to venture and do their own things. So we're really we're like one, and I think it really helps to be able to play with, with people you are like a family with.
Fall is here, and we've got you covered at RJ Pope's. Cheer on your favorite team with performance polos and jackets from Peter Millar and Gentile, as well as Southern Tide and AFCO. For ladies, they have the latest trends and fashions, including men's and women's jackets from Patagonia and Barber. RJ Pope's has a wide variety of on-cloud shoes for men and women, and a great selection of hats and caps. Shop one of their 3 locations, RJ Pope's downtown, Buckhead Plaza, and Vidalia. The Bulloch Academy segment is brought to you in part thanks to Floors Outlet of Statesboro, located on Northside Drive. Come by and visit Mo for all your floor covering needs. Well, the Bulloch Academy Gators continue to roll right along. Their latest victim, the Trinity Crusaders, who they dispatched with 50-7. They had a 43-0 halftime lead, and there was a running clock in the second half of that game. This week, they're going to be hosting Augusta Prep, who comes in with a 1-2 record on the season. We had a chance to talk with head coach Aaron Phillips and some of his players about the matchup.
As far as week to week getting better, we're being a lot more efficient throwing the football this year. You don't have to throw it a lot, and that's the thing. You don't have to, to have a balanced attack in our offense, you don't have to throw it 20 times and rush it 20 times. The last 2 weeks we've come out and there's been, 9 or 10 guys within 3 or 4 yards of the football, and we've been able to open up both games with touchdown passes. Defensively, we're continuing, since Portal, I guess they kind of lit a fire under us about missing tackles. So we tackle all week, and it's showing up on Fridays. I mean, we're in single digits of missed tackles right now, and some could be due to our opponents, but I think a lot of it is the emphasis we've put on it, and we've really, really stressed to our kids that, it's blocking and tackling is what football is. It's coaches like me who complicate it, but it's a pretty simple game. Gus Prep be very well coached. Coach Booker, Todd Booker, longtime head football coach, athletic director in the Columbia County area at Grovetown and Harlem. So he's had a long career coaching high school football, and once retired, kind of went over to Augusta Prep, and he's I feel like, if we go out and execute, we'll have a really good shot to be successful. But it all boils down to in high school football is turnovers and letting people hang around when you shouldn't. You got to capitalize on plays when they're there, and you eliminate mistakes. We look forward to the challenge. It's homecoming. If you can block out all the noise of all the extracurricular stuff going on and get your guys to focus on the game, that's a big task this week for us, is just to get them dialed into what we need to do.
I feel like we can do a little better, a little bit sloppy. We definitely have a lot more improvement to do, but I say we played pretty well. I think we have a pretty good offense, and we're doing pretty good on defense as well. I think we're getting better at tackling. I think we'll do pretty good. We have a good quarterback. We have some good runners too, pretty good. They're very quick.
Our offensive line is really physical. We have Shamal, we have Reed, and Brendan. They can all run. Donnie in the backfield last week did really well. Coming second string to start because Luke went down. I think we'll have Luke back this week, but all around we're playing together as a team. We feel great. Playing at home was just awesome by itself. Fans behind us. Not riding the bus. I hate riding the bus. I hate playing away, so that's good. And I feel like we'll come out with a victory this week.
That game's scheduled for a 7:30 kickoff at Gator Alley. You can see highlights of those games next week on Upon Further Review, and Saturday morning and late Friday night at statesboroherald.com. You can check out those high school highlights. All right, before we go, one final game. The Portal Panthers were in action this past week at Screven County. They lost 22-21. They were able to, looking to turn that around this week as they'll be hosting Bryan County. That game scheduled for 7:30. That's all the time we have for now. We thank you for joining us. Hope to see you again next week.